Hi, I'm David, if you haven't watched before, and welcome to this episode of the vlog. And today we're going to talk about extras, and specifically extras in the Elddis CV range. So, as you probably know if you've watched some of the earlier videos, I actually opted for, after researching a number of different camper vans, to go for the Elddis CV20. And the next challenge then was, what optional extras do I need? Do I go for a standard one, maybe add some extras in, or do I go for a dealer special? And then working out exactly what I wanted. So I went through the different extras and I'll just quickly run through them now for you. So there's the Lux pack, which is air conditioning, passenger airbag, cruise control. There's reversing camera, a monitor, including DAB with sat-nav, alloy wheels, automatic option, and there was two options on that one, the 140 brake horsepower and the 160 brake horsepower. The metallic slate grey colour, tow bar, the awning, bike rack, winter pack, cab blinds, an alarm system, a tracker, microwave oven, external socket, solar panel, roll-out awning, as I've mentioned, and whether for the CV60 specifically, there's options around the mattress and the bed set for that one. So I sat back and I worked out, well, what do I really want and what do I actually need from the optional extras? So I'd narrowed my shortlist down of what I wanted as either extras or part of a pack. And I quite fancied the Lux pack. My previous motorhome didn't have air conditioning, and whilst most of the time it doesn't matter, it's fantastic to have. And the same with the cruise control. I think sometimes it can be really handy, especially if you're going along the motorway and it's not too busy. Quite fancied the awning. Whilst I don't think I'd use it every time, it's still quite useful to be there if you want to use it, which is the roll-out canopy essentially. I also quite fancied a microwave, and I know some people don't go for the microwave, but I just thought it was quite useful because sometimes, especially after work, rather than needing to prepare a full meal, you can take something and warm it up in the microwave if you've got an electrical hookup, or if you've got an inverter set up that powers that. Also the alloy wheels I thought looked quite nice and just made it look a really nice van, especially in the grey colour and some of the other special colours. I think it looks fantastic with that. I thought the winter pack is probably really useful. Ironically, it's probably going to be more useful than I thought, because it doesn't seem to be until the winter that the van's likely to arrive at the rate we're going. And also cab blinds. Whilst you can use the silver screens and those kind of things to cover the window outside, it's handy sometimes just to be able to pull the blinds across, and great in the summer, so that you can just close out the light, or if you need to get changed or whatever. I also thought the reversing camera would be really helpful, and I quite fancied the built-in GPS, or the satellite navigation. Now, whilst at times I'd maybe use another device to assist with that, it's always helpful if you haven't got your device with you, just have something built in, or that was my thinking around that. And also quite fancied the dual fuel hob, because if you run out of gas and you're plugged into electric, it's really helpful, then you can still heat things up. And also wanted a solar panel. So I actually contacted a number of different dealers to see what sort of deals they had on, and gave a list of my specification. And I ended up ordering a CV20 Classique from Cleveland Motorhomes, which isn't too far away from where I live, so quite handy for collecting it and if you need to take it in for anything to be done. So I thought that was a really good thing, and quite frankly I got a really good deal on it, so I was really pleased with that. It's definitely worth shopping around. I noticed there was a huge difference for what's equivalently either very similar or the same specification, there seemed to be quite a variance in price. So if you're looking to buy one, I think it's definitely worth having a look and shopping around. And so it was very little effort to actually pull together the exact specification I was after and then go from there. Now, I originally wanted the 160 brake horsepower automatic. I thought that might be a really good choice to go for. But on conversations, it sounded like the lead time was going to be quite long for one of those, so I decided to go for the 140. Ironically, the lead time has been quite long, and as we are now in August 21, so it's almost 11 months since ordering and still kind of waiting for it. So I'm not sure if that would have made any odds and made it even longer, but who knows. Anyway, I went for the 140 automatic, which is the 9-speed auto that seems to come with rave reviews. And if you watch my previous video, has touched around the higher motorhome one, which talked about the previous generation of automatic in that one. So, and it also came with a solar panel, 130 watts, as per the time anyway of ordering it. So the only thing I wasn't sure of, and still aren't, is it didn't come with the extra 230 volt exterior socket. I'm not sure whether to add that one in, because it's under £100 to add it in. So it's one of those where you think, will I use it or won't I use it? But that's probably the only one I'm umming and ahhing on. And I had actually asked about a tow bar as well, and whether that could be fitted retrospectively, which again, they said it could, because at some point in time they want to put a tow bar on. I'd ended up being really specific with the options and colour I was after, which probably is why I'm still waiting for it, as at that point in time there were a number of models around that were of slightly different specification, but I'd got my heart set on each to their own. Everyone has their own preferences. If we were all the same, the world would be a very boring place, wouldn't it? But I'd got my heart set on the grey automatic CV20 and the extras that we've just gone through there. Because I think that, for how I would use it, would be the most useful things to get. I had a number of things I wanted to do once I've got the van as well. So these are kind of extras outside of what Elddis and kind of the general dealer options are providing. And that is, I wanted to install a Wi-Fi mobile capability, so a mobile Wi-Fi essentially, or Mi-Fi, whatever you want to call it, with the roof antenna, just to make sure you get the best possible signal as that comes through, because I do use online services quite a bit and use my phone, and it's also handy because sometimes you may want to finish something off for work, for example, so having that connectivity is important because it gives me a bit more flexibility around how I do things, and hopefully gives me a bit more time to do things, and it's there if you need it. So the Wi-Fi was important to me to get installed in the van, so that's something I'm going to fit afterwards. I'm also considering getting lithium batteries, just so I can run off-grid for longer and make sure there's never any worry if I can't get electrical hookup, or there's a better pitch without electrical hookup. Because when I had the motorhome, I was always tied to electrical hookup, pretty much, because to be frank, the batteries didn't last very long. You'd probably get one overnight before the running the heating, especially in the winter, would run the batteries down. And you know, if you watched a bit of TV or whatever, that would completely deplete the batteries down after a couple of days, to a point where you don't want to be running them any lower. So I think I'm going to get lithium batteries fitted, just so I can get the most out of it and give me the most flexibility. It's one of the reasons, as I mentioned in the past, of choosing the camper van, is to get that additional flexibility you wouldn't normally get if I'd gone for the motorhome. And obviously part of that is the freedom of not needing to be tethered to a hookup all the time. So I think that's probably a good idea. I'm also considering fitting an inverter And I've got one because I was originally going to build a camper van myself from scratch. When I say build one, obviously fit out a van, but then decided I probably, whilst I've got some of the skills to do it, I don't have all of the skills to do it. And when I costed it up, I actually think the CV range was absolutely phenomenal value. And you can always change or modify that to get it to where you need to get it to. So there's a few things going to change there, and I'll cover them off in separate videos if there's any interest around that. So there's the solar panel controller that comes with it. I imagine is just going to be a PWM, pulse width modulation one, and I'm going to change that to a MPPT to get the most energy out of the sun, or even on a cloudy day you should be picking up some energy to keep the batteries topped up. So just to kind of preserve that investment in the solar panel and the batteries. So that's one of the things I'm going to fit. I'm also going to fit a current monitoring device so I can work out how much usage I'm getting, and it just helps keep you right, I think, with that one. Plus I'm quite interested in tech, as you've probably gathered, so I'll be fitting those bits and pieces and various safety gadgets just to make sure never getting in trouble, and the last thing you want is something to go wrong and causing a fire. So just make sure it's got nice safety with circuit breakers and things like that to protect it. So that's one of the jobs I'll be doing when I get the van. I've also got myself a TV. You've probably seen the review. That's the Avtex TV to install in the van. I got the 21.5-inch connected Avtex TV to install. And again, that'll use the motorhome Wi-Fi to give us any connected service and Freeview Play for catch-ups. So I thought that was another thing that's actually really useful. Whilst the intention is not to get the van to sit watching TV in, it's nice sometimes if you want to watch something, and if there's nothing on linear TV, as they call it, which is your traditional TV, it's great to have the catch-up services, albeit you can quite happily do that on your phone or your iPad. But I just thought when choosing the set, might as well go for one that keeps it all together without needing any extra gadgets or boxes. Having said that, I added a fire stick as well to it, just to give some extra services. So, but managed to fit that nice and neatly on the back of the television. So that's kind of the first things I want to put in. There's a couple of bits I want to do around storage and making sure I optimize that, and just make sure I get everything I want. I've bought some lights to change the lights that are in the little spotlights, the ones with the USB on, so I'll be installing those. And as I go through, once I've got the van and install them, I'll make sure I do a little video for anybody interested in it. If anyone's enjoying the channel and quite fancies a sticker for the van, I've actually had some stickers made. So we've got the Leisure Bit Stick On sticker, which will stick on the back of your van. And we've also got the front sticker, which sticks on your windscreen. Turn it around, see it that way. And that's the static cling, so you can take it off at any point in time if at some point you decide you don't want it on with ease. I've also got some small fridge magnets. And because I'm a bit of a plonker, I ordered the wrong size stickers initially, so I actually have some little 4cm stickers, if anyone fancies one of them. So shout up if you fancy them. First come, first served. When they're gone, they're gone. But if you quite fancy a sticker, please give us a shout. Thank you, and take care.